How to avoid option paralysis? Thank you very much for the question. In the words of Britney Spears, give me more. Option paralysis is a very good phrase. Never heard it before, but a lot of people suffer from it. The vast majority of people suffer from it from my extensive study of hanging around a few drop kicks that live in Glebe. And they are always saying this, I don't know, they're such crap aspirations like, should I go to London for a bit? Or should I just stay here and chill and finish my TAFE course in audio engineering? Well, that's a very good question that you have to answer in your own time, but I'll give you some guiding tools. The first thing that I think that you should remember is option paralysis is the worst place that you could be. Whether you go to London or you finish your audio degree at TAFE that will qualify you for precisely fuck nothing, either of those two things are better than doing nothing. And this is where most people stay. Brian Tracy always has this great phrase. He says that a lot of people stay on this lovely island for their entire life. It's called, someday I'll go to London. Someday I'll go to, what's another far off distant area? New Zealand. You know, they are constantly paralyzed by this thing of just having them too much choice. And I understand that the human brain is conditioned for that. Well, evolved to do that. It's just that when it has too many options, it gets depressing. The saber-toothed tiger isn't chasing me anymore. Now I've got time to be sad. I don't know why that panned out like that. It seems really superfluous to me. It's kind of like that tube that goes nowhere in the human body. What's up with that? Explain that, God! You're so benevolent, huh? So, if you are in that situation in life, there's one thing that you need to remember, which is that doing nothing is the worst thing that you can be doing. So saying that you went and finished your audio degree engineering bloody whiz-bang thing at Randwick TAFE, if you finish doing that, at the very least you have that piece of paper. What is more motivating about that, however, is the very fact that you were at least using your brain for something other than taking ketamine, right? So you have something in your pocket that said, I can at least attend class for an hour a week. I don't even know how much you guys do. I'm assuming it's that much. Oh, an hour, steady on, 45 minutes. But you at least have that, and you have gotten into the habit of studying, and you're clearly pursuing something in that interest field. So this is the whole thing that people don't understand about education. It's not this whole process of just like, I've got the degree now, I get to go and be just work at the ABC, just be like, yeah, sounds good, man. This is not really how it works. What usually happens is you are born into somebody who is owed a favour. But other than that, what happens is you just have to keep learning until you are so skilled and proficient in that area that you are undeniably good, undeniably better than most people. You have to get to that stage. So that's what I'm saying, is that even if you just take that decision and go through that way and say, no, I'm just not going to bum around in London, fine. But let's just say that you do decide, oh, my heart's in the right place, I've got to go to London because there was this one squeeze that I met there when I was a few years back. It was all scraggly and pale like they always have with that accent that just turns on people in the inner city of Sydney so much for some bizarre reason. You went there and now she's got kids because, let's be honest, she's a minger, right? She probably has 5 at this point. But you went there and you're in London and now you've got to make something out of yourself. But at least the very fact that you actually went there shows that you have motivation and that you actually went and had a life experience, which I think are overrated when everyone just goes like, I'm just trying to find myself. You know what finding yourself is? It's just that you're scared. You're scared to commit. This is what this whole conversation is about. Conversation. Shut up, don't talk. I think that whatever decision you are doing in life, it is better than what most people are doing. Just remember that. If you are sitting there going, but this one has the positives and this one has the negatives, you can do that for maybe 5 minutes. And honestly, have you even done that? Because most of life's problems are solved instantly by writing them down. You know, actually, one of my friends, they had one of those high school flames that I think everyone has. Those people that are just like, what would life have been with? Anyway, he wrote to her saying, hey, just to let you know, I had this massive crush on you throughout my entire high school reign of, the whopping years of 11 to 12. And, because I masturbated over you a couple of times, I think that my life would have been a lot better if I hung out with you, right? That same thing that everyone has that, right? Anyway, he wrote that, instantly lifted. Pure catharsis. It doesn't affect him anymore. I know that everybody just sits there going, what would it have been like with Sophie, who now works in PR? Wow, what a life, you know? But the thing is that anything ever, if you write it down, it gets better. Simple. So if you have option paralysis, say that you have 2 options in life, write them down. And it is like, I can't even remember her name, the chick that I would definitely bang because she's a Japanese MILF, but the one that is always saying that, you know, the art of tidiness. But I read her book before she was big, by the way, and she was saying in it that the way to spark joy is to pick up an item, and if you find it next to your chest and it does not spark joy, throw it away, you silly. Right? Did that make any sense? Probably didn't. Probably the accent was too thick. Whatever, you're just racist. The thing is, you need to think about it in that context. I think that when you write these options down and you look at them, you will notice that one of them is like pulling your heart in that direction. Now, I'm a huge fan of following your heart because I do think that if you do that, it pays dividends to the rest of the planet once you start looking after yourself and treating yourself, because I've watched too much Oprah. And I think that if you do that and you write down those options, you will know which one you want to go into that direction. But what I am saying is, it doesn't matter. Choose one of them. Just choose one. Go down that path. Because what will happen is, because life is kind of just, everyone has these ideas because of reading a lot of fiction, I think, that life is just this incremental, chapter by chapter kind of the end thing. I guess, yeah, it is the end, because at the end you just go, I got cancer, and you die at 90. But most of the time, you're kind of just going through life. And when you're going through life and you just keep getting knocked about by kind of outside circumstances, if you have a goal, you're more likely to reach that goal. But also what starts happening is, if you are not doing anything with your time, if you are just atrophying, all that happens is you get worse. And while you are getting worse, rest assured, there are people that are getting better than you. Not many, but there are some. Do you want to be in that boat? This is the way that you do it. You never sit around fretting about, oh, I'm not doing that. You just do. And if you don't like it, you stop it, and then you go, all right, well, I guess I'll just go to London now because I've just gone down that path and it didn't really work out. But the thing is that just by doing action, guess what happens? Action begets action. But sitting there and atrophying, that just begats itself as well. Because there's a thing called the law of expansion. I think I've discussed this before, but I'll go through it again. The law of expansion states that whatever you are doing just starts to magnify. You get better at doing what you are doing, whatever that is. And so what I'm saying is the act of decision, the act of action, these 2 things will serve you well throughout whatever you want to decide you want to do in life. Anything. It will always come down to those 2 things. Are you good at making decisions? Are you good at taking action? It reminds me a lot of this fantasy movie that I'm a huge fan of now that I think about it. Those fantasy movies that are, I think, maybe late 80s, early 90s. I can't even remember the name of it, but one of the kings, this messenger envoy, came in and he just smacked him over the head with his sword and said, you see, the reason why I've just been able to outlive all the other kings that have been trying to take me down is because they all think before they act. I act before I think. I think he's right about that. This is how these videos turn out. I don't think about these videos, I just think, well, obviously because I've done all the reading, so I've got the knowledge there, but I just turn it on, I go, when I've got nothing else to say, I stop. Then I have a product that I can put out. Done. On to the next thing. That's what my whole life is now. While a lot of my other friends are constantly sitting there and they're always saying this, I'm at a crossroads in life. I am never at a crossroads in life. The reason I'm not at a crossroads in life, ever, is because I have exercised that muscle of decision making, of action, and I make a billion mistakes, but one of those things pans out exceedingly well, and so I go forward. That's what life is all about. It is just about taking action. And every time you take action, if it doesn't work out, that's a plus. Because at least you don't have that weighing in the back of your mind. Because that's another thing that you really don't want to be stuck with. Your whole life is just all those little lag programs. You know when you crap Windows 2000 PCs, especially when porn videos started coming out, so you just kept clicking on them, and then you get all of these little crappy things like widget dot. I don't remember downloading that. And then your brain, and so the computer starts going. Well, think about it. We are just a Windows 2000 PC, except for we're not. We're from 40,000 BC PC. Our brain is not as good as that, so it has all these laggy things. And while you're taking action, first off, those programs kind of just start falling into the wayside because you just keep moving and you don't have time to think about them. But the other thing is that those things start getting deleted because you go, oh, okay, I took that path, didn't work out. Cool, I'll go on down this path. The only way that you can ever be defeated in life is just being in that should I or shouldn't I mode, because that is true failure. Just sitting there and allowing days to pass without doing anything at all, that is the only way you can lose out in life. Thank you for your question. Give me more and write in the comments. Well, yeah, that's it. Just give me more questions. Thank you. Like the video. Bye.